Hello everyone, thank you again for watching my videos. Jehovah's Witnesses, I have a question. Your views of the Jews, they're not God's chosen people. I hope all of you out there know who Charles T. Russell is. He was the founder of the Watchtower, the founder of the Bible Students, and some of his teachings is still being taught by the governing body today. I found in the archive of the Bible students that still believe in Charles T. Russell's teaching 100%. When the Watchtower has rejected almost about 90% of Charles T. Russell's teaching, it only kept 10%. You may not believe me, but one of the teachings is going to blow you away. I'm not going to tell you what it is. I'm going to play it, and then you can hear the truth for yourself. And then I'll say something after it, but not before. So here we go.
In prophecy. On October the 9th, 1910, Pastor Russell addressed a Jewish mass meeting in response to a request by a Jewish mass meeting invitation committee. The invitation was signed by many prominent Hebrews of New York City. The invitation and Pastor Russell's response follow. New York, September the 20th, 1910. Dear Sir, your sympathetic interest in the Jewish people for years past has not escaped our notice. Your denunciations of the atrocities perpetrated against our race in the name of Christianity have added to our conviction that you are a sincere friend. Your discourse on Jerusalem and Jewish hopes has struck a responsive chord in the hearts of many of our people. Still, we doubted for a time if any Christian minister could really be interested in a Jew as a Jew and not merely from hope of proselyting him. It is because of this feeling that some of us request you to make a public statement respecting the nature of your interest in our people, and we desire you to know that the statement you did make was very satisfactory. In it, you assured us that you are not urging Jews to become Christians and join any of the sects or parties of Protestants or Catholics. That statement, Pastor Russell, has been widely published in the Jewish journals. We feel, therefore, that we have nothing to fear from you as a race. On the contrary, in that statement, you mentioned that the foundation of your interest in our people is built upon your faith in the testimonies of our law and the messages of our prophets. You may well understand how surprised we are to find a Christian minister acknowledging that there are prophecies of the Bible still unfulfilled, which belong to the Jew and not to the Christian, and that these prophecies, according to your studies, are nearing a fulfillment of momentous interest to our Jewish race and, through us as a people, to the nations of the world. These things, Pastor Russell, have led to the formation of a Jewish mass meeting committee, which by this letter requests you to give a public discourse, especially to our people. If you will kindly accept this invitation, will you permit us to suggest a topic for your address, which we believe will be very interesting to the public and especially to the Jews, namely, Zionism in prophecy. As for the meeting, we suggest Sunday afternoon at 3 o'clock, October the 9th. We have secured an option on the Hippodrome, New York's largest and finest auditorium, for that date, and we hope that this date and the place will be agreeable to your convenience. We assure you also of a large audience of deeply interested Hebrews, besides whoever may come of the general public. Trusting to hear from you soon, we subscribe ourselves, yours respectfully, Jewish Mass Meeting Committee. Pastor Russell's reply: Gentlemen, your kind invitation to address the Jewish Mass Meeting in the New York Hippodrome Sunday, October the 9th, came duly. I thank you for the confidence which this invitation implies. The date you have selected is not only appropriate in its relationship to the Jewish New Year, but very suitable to my own arrangements as I leave on October the 12th for appointments in London and elsewhere. Amongst the several prominent members of your race suggested for chairman of the Mass Meeting, I select Mr. John Barondis because I have had the pleasure personally of conference with him, and because I know him to be very loyal to the interests of your people, and because I believe him to be very highly esteemed as such in the councils of your race. Faithfully and respectfully yours, C.T. Russell.
Okay. Does that sound like Charles T. Russell rejected the Jews and only put the Bible students to be God's chosen people? No. The Bible students today has their own websites, and they still believe the Jews is still God's chosen people. When Judge Ruckford took president, he believed the Jews was God's chosen people, till Hitler got in the middle of it, World War II, and Judge Ruckford changed his teaching and Charles T. Russell's teaching and tried to convince a bunch of Bible students that God rejected the Jews and chose the future Jehovah's Witnesses. I hope this information will wake people up. I was blinded about this many years ago. Thought Jehovah's Witnesses was the true religion. Thought that God rejected the Jews. And I believed every word of the governing body. Till I went into Ezekiel, Isaiah, and a few other books in the Bible, in Zechariah, and found the truth for myself. God and Christ is coming back to restore Jerusalem in the future, and they did. They're back in their homeland since 1948. They had 4 enemies against them: Egypt, Muslims, and a couple others. There's 3 or 4. And they fought a 6-day war, and they won. If God wasn't on their side, even history even said, there's no way they could have won. So God wanted them to return to their homeland. And it says He uprooted them several times. And it's mentioned in the Bible that He's going to bring them back, and they will not ever be uprooted from their homeland ever again. So Jehovah's Witnesses, if the Bible says God was going to bring them back to their homeland, it's already happened. Will they be uprooted? No, because the Bible don't lie. You can find the scriptures for yourself. That's the reason you've got to do your research. The information is in the Bible. So that means the governing body is the one lying. Watchtower's literature is the ones lying. Charles T. Russell went through the Bible when they didn't have magazines, books, literature at that time. He went through the Bible and a few other his Bible students or people that became Bible students. And they found the truth in the Bible. The Jews are God's chosen people. And they will always be. And you heard, he knew future prophecies about the Jews have not been fulfilled. And those was the same scriptures I found in different books in the Hebrew scriptures, that the fulfillment of the Jews was not fulfilled and will be fulfilled in the near future. Not 1948 was part of the ones they returned to the homeland, but the other part, it mentioned that they're going to be building a new third temple. Yes, Jehovah Witnesses. In book Ezekiel mentioned a third temple that has not been built. And if you read the scriptures, you'll see the truth for yourself. So, choice is yours. You can believe Charles T. Russell's, what would have been his own words if he was still alive. But what you heard was written to him and his reply back to the Jews. He recognized the fulfillment of the Jews for the future of all mankind, not Jehovah's Witnesses, not the Bible students, not the Muslims, not other religion. It's the Jews. Thank you, and please do your research and you see the truth like we have. You've been lied to. You always will be lied to, long as you stay in the Bible. You don't need religion to come close to Christ and God. All you need is the Bible and faith and pray to Christ. He's our mediator, not those 7 men claiming to be something they are not. They call themselves spiritual Jews. They are not. They are worshipers of Satan in his own synagogue. That means Jehovah's Witnesses, sadly but mistaken, your kingdom halls considered as the house of Satan, of lies. Get out before it's too late. Thank you.